you're gonna know what their red flags are. Whenever you bring a candidate and if immediately they're having conversations with your product team and they say, "Oh, why did you choose this color on this button?" Product might immediately just raise their eyebrows and say, "What? I do not want to speak with these types of candidates ever again."
Initiating becoming a hiring machine sequence in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, it's Sam Keenley, and welcome back to Becoming a Hiring Machine. This is the show dedicated to fixing recruitment by going beyond saying what needs to change and instead teaches you how to make that change. Today, we've got a great Tactical Tuesday episode ahead of us, but before we get into that, I want to tell you a little bit about the show. Essentially, we have shows within the show here. Some days we have interviews with industry thought leaders and others who are shaking up the space, while other days we cover trending topics. Stop by every Tuesday like today for a Tactical Tuesday episode where we go deep on how to do something that's going to help you drive better results in your day-to-day. And occasionally you get a mic drop episode from Matt where he shares something that he's been thinking about within the recruitment space and wants you to know. Now, as a reminder, if you like the content that we share here on the show, make sure that you subscribe for more. All right, today's episode is part 2 of a 3-part series. Part 2, stepping off of the second episode, the last one in a 3-part series. Tongue twister, I know, right? And it goes out to both our in-house recruiters and agency recruiters who are working with multiple hiring managers and teams within a single organization. So how do we handle those? How do we set expectations that we hold all hiring managers to? So on and so forth. As I say, go back and listen to last week's episode if you haven't caught that yet, because this is going to build off of that one. But here to continue to share her insights from last week is Nat Bullitt. So Nat, welcome back for part 3.
Thank you so much. Super excited to keep up with our really great topic. I feel like I've also been gathering more insight and knowledge from our customers and what they're doing. So just happy to, yeah, keep on of what we were talking about last week and add more onto it because I feel like I'm gonna get a little bit more technical in the one from this week.
Ooh, so perfect. Not just building off of it, but going a layer deeper. Now you're talking my language. We're geeking out today.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that you, from your hiring process, because you've obviously hired for the team, you can give us a couple of examples of how you also encouraged the hiring techniques or what you applied in your process, because I think that that could also just build a little bit more into it.
Yeah, we'll do anything that's helpful for me to share what worked, what did not work. Happy to share as much as I can from that.
Hey, we can also work on the what did not work. I think that those are also wins for the future. And
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, so
Okay.
we can definitely get started with the first one over here. So last week, I think that we mostly focused on what you can do in terms of your relationship with those hiring managers that you're working with, especially if you're working across maybe different industries or maybe different teams, depending on if you're agency or in-house, right? So it was mostly in terms of relationship management, candidate management. But now let's get into the nitty-gritty. It's so important for you as a recruiter to ultimately build your, and I'm just going to call it this way, your greatest hits album, kind of like, I don't know, the Bee Gees or the Beatles, the Rolling Stones. You have an album with your greatest hits.
Hmm.
Those are probably going to be the best performance that have come across in the team. They have really long tenure. People really like them. They get along with the company. Culture fit, check. Everything, like all the boxes, check. Start building that list of your greatest hits. Just like the same thing happens in marketing, that you have your buyer persona, get your hiring persona in check and start making that list. But one of the best tips that I would say in terms of you might know exactly who those people are by going team to team and just start asking those hiring managers who they were. Go a layer deeper, I would suggest. Gather all of those, at least maybe not in a room, maybe it could just be in your mind, and start asking yourself the question of what are the commonalities? What are the points that actually make them such successful candidates and actually place people within the company and within the business? Could it be because they came from the same background, as in the same size of company, from a SaaS or from a very large enterprise business? Could it be that they were more strategic in their previous role? Or could it be that they were caged in their previous role and you let them loose and they had all this freedom? So just start grabbing those little details that actually bring them together and make them quite common so you can build your greatest hits playlist, I would say. That's my number one.
I like that one. That's a good one. That's a good one. And it goes beyond, it's not just skills or experiences, but also like look at the traits that make them
Mhm.
up and how you can work backward from that. So like when we talk about skills based hiring, sometimes, you could have someone who calm, customer support, who's just so empathetic. They're good at teaching and explaining things. Like teachers have a good makeup for that. And so that's where you don't have to look for people necessarily with that same experience, but what are the skills? What are the traits that they possess? And you can work backwards to find other roles that ladder into that well.
Exactly, because there's so much cross-functional success that you can just move around in the team.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't necessarily need to be boxed in one particular position. It could just
Yep.
take you to that next level.
Yeah.
So, number one, greatest hits.
Love it. All right. Number two.
Number two, we all know this if you're in the world of recruitment. There is no such thing as like a one size fits all when it comes to communication. We all know that you need to mirror a conversation with hiring managers. You need to mirror whatever they're projecting or what type of standard of communication they have on their side. So I'm just gonna say it in terms of if you start mirroring whatever hiring managers are sending you or the energy that they're giving off, I think that you can build relationships based on that. Because if you come to the conversation at the same level, you will start building trust. And if you build trust, you will build faster processes because they will be more willing to give you open feedback or receive it without feeling attacked. So, yeah, I think that that's such a quick nugget for us to remember. And Viv, if you've listened to many of our episodes here in the podcast, she is a chameleon. And I always say that she is absolutely outstanding at that with customers and just understanding where they're coming in terms of if they're very demanding, she'll be very clear and strategic. I'll give you the bullet points of what you need. If you're more dilly dally, more of a dreamer, she can dream with you, but she will come to the table kind of what exactly you're looking for. And if we wanted to take it maybe like point by point, like with three examples, so we could take a look at, for example, how you would talk with a sales hiring manager. They would probably want you to send an email with bullet points or just give them a really quick call and tell them this. If you're, for example, talking to IT and engineering, they probably want to receive something related to like a GitHub message that I will send it to you today. Don't expect me to answer until tomorrow because I'm focused on other things. Maybe marketing would want you to send, I don't know, maybe a couple of quotes or a little snippet of a video of the interview. I don't know, things like that. Just keep it interested, keep it fresh, and then come to the conversation at the same level.
Yeah. Nothing to add. That's a great one. And I especially love the examples to help you understand, it's going to vary by person. The more you can match that, the better your odds are going to be.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, you've definitely been a hiring manager, so you probably understand that a little bit more for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's how you talk to different people. It's the same thing. Like how I would talk to Matt is very different from how I would talk to Anita on our team, which is very
Yeah.
different from how I'd talk to Mark, our VP of sales. Like everyone has their own preferred medium. So what's the best way to get in touch with them? Style, like how are you delivering that message? Like you said, is it bullet points? Is it a loom video? What is it? But the more you can understand that, it's a cheat code.
That is so true. Because, yeah, I've heard of a lot of customers that they particularly don't like, for example, WhatsApp. And they will use WhatsApp because they know that they're going to get more results from that hiring manager if they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so just having a different approach, understanding that if you want to see success and in that relationship in particular, you need to accommodate and mold yourself to what they need from you
Yep. Yep.
and build trust off of that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's number three?
Number three, I guess it's kind of linked as well, I'm gonna say. So it's mostly one of just building patterns, not being a pipeline pusher. So just kind of going off of what we were just saying. It's like every single team has some sort of patterns of what type of candidates they like to hire. But let's say that you have a very demanding hiring manager that keeps saying no to everyone that you show. You even gave him a hot list of the candidates that you thought that would be ideal. And then you go off of that, you bring them the candidates that could be quite similar, and they still say no to you for every single one of them. why not use the tools that are available to you, like candidate insights, to just be able to create the story based on reports, based on facts? You're telling me that you want everyone from a university that was an Ivy League. I'm bringing you all these Ivy League candidates. You're telling me no. I'm bringing you all of these proficient Spanish speakers. Why are you telling me no? They're really hard to find, especially in this state. I don't know, like things like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you can give them a graph or a report to just kind of say, our competition is doing this little bit different than what you're asking me, maybe we can push it this way, because if not, it's just going to be a constant war of what you want, but what I can actually give you. And the expectations are just going to be dropped one time after the other after the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an interesting one because it's on paper it's so easy to say that yes, I want Ivy League, they need to be proficient in Spanish, whatever, and then you start to go into more of these skills, and they keep saying no, no, no. It's like, well, what is it about them? And you usually be like, well, they don't have enough, they're not high energy enough, they aren't good at XYZ, they aren't good at selling or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, you've constrained me to this box, Ivy League, Spanish speaking, proficient in Salesforce, or whatever else it may be. It's like, actually, this might not be required, or have you thought about this? This is where, as a trusted talent advisor, they don't always know what they want, or they think that certain criteria might be the best one, but you can be like, actually, I think I understand what you want now. If we do this instead, I think we'll get the candidates that you're looking for. So yeah, sometimes it's good. You almost have to, I think we talked about this in the last one, like calibrate a little bit first, and then you can start to point out like what calibrations are helpful, aren't helpful, come up with some recommendations for what we could do differently, and then keep working from there.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes it's also quite useful to tell them, we're offering this to our candidates. So the candidates could be the ones that are saying no to us because maybe we're offering a lower salary than the competition, or
Mm-hmm.
we're asking for them to go into the office more than the competition is. So even just having a little bit of leeway, a little bit of flexibility, that the hiring managers could be like, okay, you know what? I understand where the candidates are coming from, why they're falling through in the process, because it could go both ways, that could actually take you into why we're in this particular case.
Mm-hmm.
So build those patterns. Don't become just a pipeline pusher, become an advocate for them and make them
Yes.
feel like you're strategizing as much with them as they are with
Mm-hmm.
you. Hmm.
Oh yeah. All right, number 4.
Ooh, number four. I think we kind of dabbled into this a little bit in our first episode, which is very much success metrics.
Mm-hmm.
As recruiters, we need our metrics. We need to understand if pipelines are successful, if we're getting hires through, our time to hire, and everything. But more than just that, I think that we need to go one layer deeper. What if we have those metrics per team, but we're not the ones who say what metrics we want success out of? What if we build them together with our hiring managers? That's what I'm kind of thinking. Because a hiring manager in sales can tell you, I'm interested to know in how much revenue they bring in the first 6 months, how quickly they adapt, how quickly they learn the product, and how quickly they can start doing demos and discovery calls for me. Whereas, for example, someone in engineering might, for example, think, how long are they taking to code something? Is it good quality? Are they being receptive to like manager insights? Or someone, I don't know, from customer success, for example, which is my team, are they having really good renewal calls? Are they good in conversation? Tell me those metrics. So I think that take it one layer deeper, and if you can have those conversations further down the line with hiring managers of how did those placements perform, that is going to be able to offer you more valuable information in the future to keep building on that relationship and keep building on those different patterns that those successful candidates give you.
Mm-hmm. I like that one. That's a good one. It's not overly complicated. Sometimes simple works best.
Yeah, honestly. And then that just kind of takes us really to the fifth one, which is just like building a good wiki. Because if we're going to start having all these metrics for different teams, we need a Bible. We need a playbook for every single one of these teams and how we're working with them, right? Because you're gonna know what their red flags are. Whenever you bring a candidate and if immediately they're having conversations with your product team and they say, "Oh, why did you choose this color on this button?" Product might immediately just raise their eyebrows and say, "What? I do not want to speak with these types of candidates ever again." Right? Write it down in your Notion, in your wiki, in your doc, so in the future you can also prep candidates for it so they go into interviews more well prepared, but also that if
Hmm.
a candidate is telling it to you, they might actually say it to the hiring manager too in their interviews. Um, but yeah, I feel like we in account management slash customer success, we use our wiki, our Notion for everything. Whatever type of information that you want to find related to the standard processes that we have as a business, it's on there. The same for your hiring and your hiring needs per team. What does this industry leader need? What does this hiring manager for XYZ side of the business need from you? And keep everything collated, keep everything together, because when you start hiring new people, just point them in that direction. They can go and read it on their own and search it. Easy.
Yep. Yeah. You should never be starting from scratch. And we talk about this all the time. Like, use your internal CRM before going and looking at sourcing platforms. Like, same exact concept. Take everything you've learned and apply that moving forward. So, yeah, that internal wiki, it's so, again, simplicity. It's so simple that we're like, oh, I know this information. Yeah, it's all up top, but you'll forget things. You'll remember things actually like, oh, I knew this was going to happen when I sent this candidate over to this hiring manager. They always want XYZ beforehand, or they always reject candidates like this. Like, just having that front and center for you beforehand save you countless time, probably headaches too.
Yeah, especially imagine if you're a recruiter that's working, I don't know, with like big staffing companies, or you have this standard process, but at the same time, you might want to go on holiday. So why not just take care of your future self that
Hmm.
needs that extra day of holiday and have
Yes.
someone know exactly what they're supposed to do?
Your future self will thank you. How I say, like, what would future Sam like to hear? What would future Sam want to see? I'm just like, just help your future self.
Exactly. Yeah. So I
All
think that that's a
right.
really nice way of just like closing it off. Don't forget
Mm-hmm.
to
No,
just keep
that's
everything.
that's perfect. I love it. Well, you've been a wealth of knowledge through this mini series. Truly appreciate you joining us. I know Viv is coming back. She'll be here next week, but I think we might have already be starting to get people saying like, oh no, we want Nat involved too. So we'll have to come up with
Hopefully,
another mini series for you.
I'll be back if you want me.
Absolutely. All right. Well, truly appreciate you coming in and sharing all of this. So, yeah, as we wrap, Becoming a Hiring Machine is a production of Loxo. If you like this episode, but you're not sure where to go next, we have a link to a similar one. You can find that within the show notes of the description in your favorite podcast streaming platform, as well as on our website. We do have full video episodes available on YouTube. If you ever have questions, send them our way, podcast@loxo.co. And lastly, if you love this episode and the series in whole, make sure to leave us a quick rating in your podcast streaming platform. It takes you 3 seconds, but it's going to help other recruiters like you to find us. So, all right, everyone, that's the show. That's another great Tactical Tuesday with Nat. Until next time, bye, y'all.